Chinese crackdown on video games affecting Roblox's prospects. Hello lovely YouTube family. Welcome back to Roblox Game Power. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Chinese crackdown on video games affecting Roblox's prospects. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. How does Chinese crackdown on video games will affect Roblox's prospects? The Chinese government recently announced new rules for its citizens designed to decrease the amount of time children spend playing games. The move is likely to decrease engagement from gamers in the region and could hurt some gaming stocks. For instance, the popular gaming platform Roblox is heavily dependent on engagement from gamers under 18 years old, which is the age group that the Chinese government's restrictions are aimed toward. Let's look at what China is requiring in more detail and determine how the new rules could affect Roblox stock, if at all. Several games in China are scrambling to become compliant with the new regulations that the Chinese government has implemented to reduce online game time for Chinese minors. One of these regulations is a real ID system that requires users to input their Chinese ID when logging on. Companies like Tencent and NetEase have rolled out real name registration in order to play their games outside the allotted time slot for minors. And this has created a secondary market for of-age accounts for games like Honor of Kings, as reported in this article by Kotaku. What wasn't certain was whether or not games from international publishers would be subject to the same restrictions, or international users attempting to log into Chinese games from abroad. Now, we finally have answers to both those questions, as it seems that Roblox China, or Luobu, as it's known among Chinese users, will be compliant to these new regulations. According to Roblox news account RTC on Twitter, Luobu players must register their account with a Chinese ID in order to use the Luobu app. We tried to register for Luobu ourselves, but the registration process requires that a friend verify your WeChat account if it's too new or doesn't have contacts/friends. Speaking with a Roblox user by the name of David, it seems that foreign users are unable to access the Luobo service unless they directly contact a Tencent representative on WeChat and identify themselves as a foreigner. This process doesn't actively undermine Luobo's Real ID dialog and requires that a Tencent administrator provide your account with permissions to access Luobo's service at any time. Currently, there's no confirmation as to whether this method works, but it shows the creativity of the Roblox community in attempting to circumvent China's Gamaton regulations. In an interview with VentureBeat, Roblox CEO Dave Basecki stated that Roblox's real goal is to make one experience that can work around the world in many languages, implying a global infrastructure that allows users access to user-generated content that's localized and accessible to them, regardless of their location. With Chinese regulations locking Roblox China from the rest of the Roblox community, it undermines Basecki's mission statement. As of right now, Roblox has not officially acknowledged Roblox China's observance of the regulations. The Chinese government's new rules will also limit those under 18 to playing video games with an online component for a maximum of 1 hour a day, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., on only Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. They can also play for an hour at the same time on public holidays. China's state media service says the rules aim to curb gaming addiction. Roblox is free to join and makes its money by selling in-game currency called Robux. Of course, the fewer hours people spend playing games, the less opportunity for Roblox to earn revenue. Still, the company had been dealing with time limits on gaming in China before, although the new rules are stricter. Roblox does not break out how many players it has in China, but it does say that out of its 43.2 million daily active users, 7.2 million of those are from the Asia-Pacific region, where presumably China is the biggest contributor. Making up roughly 17% of its DAU, the region also accounts for 18% of overall engagement on the platform. The two regions that bring in more players and engagement for Roblox are North America and Europe. Importantly, North American and European engagement decreased by 9% and 2%, respectively, in the most recent quarter from the same time last year as economies reopened. But engagement this past quarter increased from the Asia-Pacific region by 49% from the year prior. The new government crackdown threatens to halt some of the momentum that Roblox was gaining in the populous region. What this could mean for investors? Roblox is already facing headwinds as economies reopen and kids return to school. The trend has shown up in the company's results with the aforementioned decreases in engagement. The difference here is that the China rules are still just announcements. It remains to be seen how they will impact gaming behavior in the region. It's not likely to have a positive effect on any important metrics, but it does have the potential to cause some harm. Significantly, Roblox investors did not react much to the rule change announcement, and the stock price is up about 3.3% in the last 30 days. The shares are not cheap, trading at a forward price-to-sales ratio of 18.3, near the highest point of the year, despite the negative effects of reopening economies and the news out of China. The risks to Roblox look to be on the downside. Investors interested in adding the stock could be better served by waiting for a substantial pullback in the share price to start accumulating shares. You certainly don't want to pay premium prices when it's facing two potentially major risks in the near term that could affect its long-term prospects. It's not likely to have a positive effect on any important metrics, but it does have the potential to cause some harm. Significantly, Roblox investors did not react much to the rule change announcement, and the stock price is up about 3.3% in the last 30 days. The shares are not cheap, trading at a forward price-to-sales ratio of 18.3, near the highest point of the year, despite the negative effects of reopening economies and the news out of China. The risks to Roblox look to be on the downside. Investors interested in adding the stock could be better served by waiting for a substantial pullback in the share price to start accumulating shares. You certainly don't want to pay premium prices when it's facing two potentially major risks in the near term that could affect its long-term prospects. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.